Hello everybody, Adam here again with two new little announcements. I know, it's a shock and a surprise to us all. The first announcement is that our 10,000 download giveaway is still ongoing and you can win. Oh yes, simply message us on either Facebook or Twitter with your idea for a sponsor product and use the hashtag FMPod10K so that we can find you all. Winners to be announced later and our patrons automatically get entered as well. If you fancy becoming a patron, you can find us on patreon.com/forcemajeurepod. The second announcement is this. After this episode, we are taking a very short mid-season break from the Coldfire Chronicles. However, don't fret, don't cry, don't be alarmed or worried. We're not going away, and instead we're going to be bringing you a little bit of a treat. If you recall back a while ago, we said we were going to be doing the Tiny Tychus Adventures, a brief arc run by Mikey, following Tychus and his friends on his 6th birthday. And that is what you've got to look forward to. Because we don't want too much of a season break, we're going to be releasing Tiny Tychus Adventures weekly, then back onto episode 9, and then return to our fortnightly releases after that. So, it's a concentrated dose of all the stuff you love most. Right, that's enough of that, let's get things going. You know how it goes. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. You're listening to Force Majeure, an actual play Star Wars podcast. My name is Adam and I'm your host, and today's episode will be brought to you after these words from our sponsors.
Take a look at your shelf. Bare, isn't it? Lacking in the wonders that it could hold for one small price a month. This is Galaxy WoW. From Aberfar to Yavin, it's the ultimate ABC to the galaxy. Learn about worlds near and far. Discover cultures old and new with Galaxy WoW Holomedia. This monthly subscription at one low price gives you access to our data disk bursting with facts, games, quizzes, and more. Our Holomedia lets you hold stars in the middle of your appendage and expand your mind to the wonders of the universe. Issue 1 contains 1,000 fun facts about Alderaan, a geo sample, and a free decorative storage device. Speak to your vendor today. Galaxy WoW, your universe for sale.
Hello everybody and welcome back. This is Force Majeure, the Coldfire Chronicles Chapter 2, Episode 8. And I'm Adam, your host and GM. Sitting around the table with me, performing and cavorting for your delectation and delight, we have...
Hello, my name is Jaren. I am a Chiss, as you can see from the blue skin and the normal red-coloured eyes. I am a mystic advisor, so I have been told, but I'm really not. I am incredibly enthusiastic, but some people say I am kind of reckless, and I'm played by Mikey.
All right then, I'm Lassa, since you're going to be weird about it. I'm a perfectly reasonable human sentinel artisan. I would say that my big strength is curiosity. People have pointed out that the weakness might be obsession, but I don't really hold with that. And I'm played by Mim.
My name is Oberon Brick. I'm a human, I'm a hunter, I'm a seeker. They say my strength is a thirst for justice, and they say my weakness is cruelty. And I'm played by Ed. Hello.
Agatha is Mariah warrior aggressor. Agatha is prideful, but angry. And is played by Ross.
And do we have a question from one to another?
Lassa would actually like to ask Agatha a question. And so she's going to take him to one side after a casual cup of tea. So, Agatha, I've known a couple of your people at Marialand, yeah.
Yes.
And they've all seemed quite calm people. And I've known a couple of good healers, very good at being a calming presence. But what about your parents? What were they like? Because I hate to say it, but you've got a bit more spunk and vigour than most I've met.
Agatha is calming influence. Agatha is not calming influence?
Well, I've never seen a warrior of your species, I'll admit. if that's not my personal prejudices, I don't think I've ever met a warrior fighter of your kind of people.
That is not wrong.
Well, that's already I had to say about that. Thank you for this conversation.
Agatha's the unusual one in the family. Definitely the black sheep of the family. Agatha didn't do too well at school. Got in deep with someone else, so...
Oh, I know what it's like. Rough upbringing, eh?
Pushy parents.
All right. And it seems as though a few things have slid into place in Lass's head about Agatha, and she just nods to herself. All right then.
Older sibling did better at school.
You got siblings? Lovely. I shall look forward to hearing more about them.
Where we left our heroes, the day had progressed without a great deal of incident, really. Supplies were loaded up onto the Coldfire's Mercy. The atmospheric scrubs had been replaced. Some last-minute repairs and refurbishment had been done. The ship was being refueled, ready for them to finally leave Port Haven and make their way to Lanico 4 and their rebel contact. But before we ran out of time last episode, there were 2 little items of business left still pending. And for the first one of these, we starwipe to the room on the ship which has been set aside for meditation. It is not the vast cavern that Pyjak used to have underneath his home on Daxos. It is a smaller, much smaller place, a converted bunk room where the beds have been removed, the walls have been painted a neutral magnolia. The lighting is dim in here. The floor has a circular rug in the middle of it just to allow a little bit of padding. And the walls have been modified with a slightly sound-deadening construction, raised bumps and cones that muffle the sound of the outside world, so that when someone is in here, kneeling cross-legged in the centre of the room, and really only one person can comfortably fit in here at any given point in time, the only thing they're focusing on is themselves, the sound of their own breathing, and the very, very faint hum of the life support that is inescapable in any space-going vessel, no matter how carefully soundproofed. And in the middle of this room, cross-legged on the rug, eyes closed in contemplation, we see Oberon.
So, in the centre of the room, Oberon has a little spinning glowing thing, and his eyes are closed, so the lights are just flashing as he's meditating. And he closes his eyes, and has been meditating for a while. He's asking the cosmos to kind of come to him, and he's reaching his mind out, and he's trying to calm down his thoughts. And he rolls 2 light side and 1 dark side, so I'll take the light side, please.
For the first time in a long time, you are able to push through the oily surface of the dark side, that cold presence, and reach out to that warmth that lies beyond it. You bathe yourself in the light, and you feel your eyes opening, and you see space, a ship emerging from hyperspace into a system populated by the ruins of worlds, asteroids, boulders, debris, ancient ruined ships, abandoned satellites and space stations. There are threats here, some immediate, some to your body, some to that part of you that resides outside of the flesh. You can feel an itch on your skin like a rash as you survey the area. There's a taste of burnt copper and sulphur in your mouth, and you know that somewhere in this system there is something waiting. Not like 10th Brother, this is a different, less direct, less personal threat. There is something here though, a trap of some form, and you've been hunting long enough to recognise one when you see one. In amongst all this scattered threat, there is a candle lit in a darkened room, guiding you and showing you the way. And you focus on the candle and you move your vision in, and you find yourself standing in a library, a vast ancient structure, and all around you are shelves filled with books. But the light isn't bright enough that you can read the spines. You can't quite see what the knowledge is, and you try and reach out and take one of the books, but to do that would be to step outside of this puddle of candlelight, the only thing keeping the darkness at bay. You stretch one foot over the threshold, reaching your arm out, and suddenly you see yourself half in the light, half in the dark, reaching for something. Then you wake up.
So, Oberon, quite on his own, has learnt that the dark side is quicker, easier, and more seductive. I'm sure everyone knows that, though, so he's not going to mention it. What he does do is he goes to the console, and having had that vision, he programs the pilot con, so whoever is at the pilot, that they have of easy access a collision detection for navigating asteroid field.
Okay, can you make me an astrogation test, I think? Yeah, that seems right to me. I know you're not plotting a hyperspace course, but it's all that kind of early warning system setup, really, isn't it? Tugger will give you a boost.
So is that an extra blue die?
That's an extra blue die, yes. And it's 2 difficulty, 2 purple.
That's an advantage, but nothing else.
Okay, so you aren't familiar enough with the setup here to be able to program in anything more complicated than what's already there, really. You're not really able to improve over the collision detection systems that are already fitted into this vessel. Do you have any idea what you want to use that advantage for, particularly?
Even if you fail to work out how to use the astrogation systems this time, you might be better off next time. You might be more familiar with it.
Yeah.
Perhaps you can get a blue dice for the first collision.
That's kind of what I was after generally, is a blue dice for the first collision.
Yeah, so yeah, should you need to make evasive manoeuvres when you're piloting, or if when you move into some form of asteroid field or other, then yeah, you can have a blue die to that roll.
And Oberon goes and tries to catch. What is JRN up to?
He's still going through all of the crates. He's basically checking for false bottoms, pulling out all of the contraband that's hidden in there, checking what it is, packing it away again. Busy work, mostly.
Can I have a quick word?
You can have a quick sentence if you wish.
I don't really have the language to explain this very well.
Oh, okay. Well, you try and I'll sing the chorus.
So, we've all had visions before.
Yeah.
Wherever we're headed, there is a power that leans into the power that we possess.
Let me guess, it's not nice.
It doesn't seem to be nice or not nice. It seems to be somewhere on the edge. Grey rather than dark or light.
So there's a power, but we don't know which way the dice are going to roll.
Well, it was a vision of a library, and knowledge is always one thing or the other, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's what you do.
Yeah,
with
it's what you do with the things you know.
Books are just another weapon.
Yeah, I see that.
Frightening things that Oberon says.
Yeah, it took him by surprise a little bit. Yeah, I see that. It's a, okay, so what can we do from this information we have? What? Because we are going there anyway. We have made commitments.
Well, the vision also involved some potential collisions with an asteroid field.
Oh, that's nice.
So I've just modified the collision detection slightly.
Okay.
I mean...
You're piloting, right?
Yes.
I believe in you. He puts a hand on your shoulder and leaves it there. I do. I believe in you and what you can do. I'll be right there by the side of you, in my spacesuit.
That fills me with confidence. Thanks, Joanne.
As it should do. No, you will be fine. It is fine. It is okay. We all have our expertise. We can do this.
I think I figured out how the ship works. It's old.
Hundreds of years. How is everybody feeling? You've all taken quite a bit of a... Are you okay?
Yes, I mean, my wounds still itch a bit, but they'll heal.
Agatha, he thinks we're not looking, he's quite hurt, you know.
Agatha needs to rest more.
Yes, but I can't tell him to rest. Well, I can tell him to rest, but I don't want to tell him to rest.
He needs a good soak, but I'm not going to tell him to take a bath either.
He needs a good bath as well, to be honest. Well, he's a man of action. You can tell when you're downwind from him. Maybe I'll go and talk to him and tell him to take it easy a little bit. Yeah, I'll go do that. So Jiren moves from where we are, I imagine we're just in a random part of the ship, and goes to find Agatha, who is doing what?
Has been moving heavy things,
okay,
as instructed.
Agatha, I think we can take 5.
There are more than 5 here.
Time to take a break, okay?
Okay.
Are you okay? You seem a little more bruised than I expected.
Big lizard.
Yeah. Do you think it might be better if you maybe sat down for a bit, if in case we come across another lizard in space? I realize that's too complicated. In case we have another fight.
Agatha should recover.
Yeah, I don't want you not being able to protect me from being attacked. That is what I'm saying.
Agatha values Jaren's advice.
come with me and we walk into the room we used for doing the medical stuff. I know we don't have a medical centre or anything like that.
It's just one of the bunk rooms.
Yeah. Sit there.
Agatha sits.
Okay. So which bits hurt and what's going on? I don't know medicine, but let's see what we can do. You had a stim pack, right?
Yes.
Right. You think taking another one would help?
Yes.
Here. He pulls out of his pocket and says, you take that, you use that.
Agatha uses that.
Which gives you 4, I believe.
5, because it's a new day.
Is it a new day, Rick? How are you feeling?
Much better.
Good to go?
Agatha will be fully ready when we get to our destination.
Jiren, for a second, just puts his hands on your shoulders and he looks at you straight on. He says, I want you to take care of yourself, okay? You don't take care of yourself. You keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and things will break. And I don't want these breaking anymore. I want you to be strong. And you can't be strong if you are damaged like this. Okay? You're going to do this for me. Right?
Agatha understands.
And Jiren is, with his voice, he's going to push his... basically connect himself to the Force and essentially make sure that Agatha does what he tells him. Mm-hmm. But it manifests in a strange way. It does. It's not a changing his mind.
It's not a compulsion.
It's not a compulsion. It's essentially he's going to imbibe him with the idea that he feels better. Mm. And with that, I'm going to roll a heal roll. Mm. And for the first time, I'm going to use knowledge as power. So I'm going to use a little bit extra oomph, and I'm going to try and make him feel better as to how he is. So that's 2 light side points, which heals you 6.
Agatha is fully healed.
Over the next 20 minutes or so, you realise maybe you're not as hurt as you thought you were. You feel better. The things that were causing a strain and causing stiffness are loosening, and you feel like you can probably take on a lizard.
Great.
Meanwhile, in the engineering room, now that all of the various checks and replacements have been done and evening's starting to draw in, how do we find Lassa?
Lassa is basically talking to a severed droid head that she's got plugged in to various scanners and a piece of splicing technology. And she's made sure the doors are shut. She's not involved anybody else, and even Prinkle has been told not to bother her because she's doing some delicate work. Right, my beauty. I need you to tell me where you came from. I'm just going to have to open you up and have a look in here. She's not got the droid on to have a conversation. She's just talking herself through it because it helps with her aid. And what she's trying to do is access it to find out who is in charge. She wants to know names and details about where this head came from and who it reports to, who's got access to it, so she can pinpoint the people responsible for the hunting fiasco.
That will be a computer's test to begin with. The difficulty is going to be 1 purple, and as I flick a dark side point, 1 red. 1 purple and 1 red.
Okay. Now, I've got a splicing rig, which is enabling me to do this. I'm quite good with computers. So that's 2 yellow and a green, and 1 purple and a red. I'm pretty happy with that, because that is 1 triumph and 3 additional advantage.
Yeah.
You show me where you're coming from.
So, you break through the firewalls in the droid's memory, and its entire database is open to you. Looking through, I'm kind of going to give you the broad strokes, and then you tell me which areas you want to deep delve into, and if you want to do it now or if you want to save it for later on, but this droid has no secrets from you whatsoever. The first things that you find out is that this droid is property of the Orcol Collective. A-U-C-H-O-L. The Orcol Collective.
Right. Orcol Collective. I've got a name for you.
They have 15 units present on Port Haven.
15 of them running around getting people in trouble? Smashing?
And from the geotags that are built into the droid's memory, from when it goes to recharge, when it goes to memory upload, they're based out of a warehouse deep in the technological part of Port Haven, which kind of makes sense. It looks like there are wider ties from the Orcol Collective out. The handler for these droids is someone called Cyphus Gantares.
Cyphus Gantares?
And whoever Cyphus Gantares is, they are the handler for these units. They're the one who programs in the routes, the one who programs in the behaviours, potentially the one who's built their various camouflage implants, certainly the one who programmed the fight routines into them, because as we said from the start, Steve was very unusual for a protocol droid to be carrying pistols, and he clearly knew what he was doing with them. those combat reflexes and programming were programmed in by Cypher Scantaris.
All right.
You also have the bank details, or the space bank details. The various monies that are paid to these droids gets filtered through, so you know at least where to start looking for that sort of thing. And you have the comm code frequencies that these droids use to keep in touch. What you also will have gathered, because I'm kind of baking your triumph in with these successes, is at the moment that Steve was attacked and turned against, pics were taken of all of you who were involved in that, which were then transmitted through its HoloNet connection to this server. But it does have a wired connection that is presently inactive because you've turned it down to this server.
Can I ask a question to clarify on that? Would that be people who were threatening Steve or people who were on the group at the time?
It will be the people who were threatening Steve.
So there won't be a picture of Agatha at this point?
There absolutely will. You leapt over and you grabbed him and held him in place so that Lassa could shoot him in the face.
I'm misremembering from 2 episodes ago. Never mind.
All of you will have been on that because looking back through its photographic memories, because it was recording, it's just not all of that was transmitted out. So in its droid brain memories are all of you meeting up, going on the hunt, all of the discussions that were going on, but at the moment that it was shut down and its last energy sent that pulse out, it has you, Lassa, it has Agatha holding onto it, it has Jaren talking to it, which caused a scramble, and you can just about make out Oberon, but at the time that Steve was taken down, Oberon was at a distance and the vision of Oberon was being blocked by the rest of you. However, Oberon's gear is extremely distinctive, so you can kind of make out Oberon's shoulder and his rifle in that quite distinctive Canto Bight Hunters Guild uniform, but you can't see Oberon's face in the image that was sent out at the time of destruction.
Alright.
As far as you can tell, none other of its recordings were uploaded. It seems that what happens is when it goes back at night, those get uploaded and put into a database of some form, because you can see the tags from where that's happened previously. So yes.
Okay.
If you remember, there was a threat that was being kept in the back pocket from when all that went down as well. This is what that threat was.
Alright. I'd like to, just to make this a bit safer for us now, delete that data that contains us. Just that period of data.
Yep.
So it can't resend it, and that at least it's gone from that period.
I'm going to let you do that as part of this whole data mining exercise. I'm not going to make you need to re-roll for that one since you have a triumph. It seems a bit otiose.
Alright, and just to confirm, this droid has a link to the other droids.
It has a link to a central server that then links to the other droids.
And that doesn't require it to be physically there.
It does not, it's a wireless link. It rides local HoloNet, so the droids themselves can't talk to each other directly. It goes through this central node, it goes in and then out again rather than to each other.
Okay.
So hang on, in theory, it's deleted locally but it's not deleted on the server?
Yes, that's right. So the final image that was taken was sent to that server, which you're not accessed at the moment. So while Steve's memory banks are now wiped of any trace of any of you, that picture has already been sent. It is no longer within your grasp to recall that from where you're starting off.
Okay. I do have an overall plan of attack on him. At the moment, I know it's going to take a while, but I'd like to start developing a program that will wipe us from their systems, and then I have an additional program that I'll want to work on once I've been able to do that, because I think that actually might be the most important thing first, to make sure that we are not associated with it.
Okay. Well, if we start with that program first of all, because how long that's going to take you depends very much on what you're rolling.
Yes, indeed.
So, to write this program, even before you then uplink and send it, again, we'll see how the dice fall for whether or not we need additional bits of that. It's going to be another computers test. I will give you a boost because you've got every secret of Steve's brain and programming exposed for you at the moment.
Thank you.
The difficulty, though, for this one, since it's just like a recall almost, I'm just going to say it's 2 purple. I am going to throw in 2 setback die, though, because of the defensive anti-slicing countermeasures that is on this database.
All right.
So for the listeners, what's your slicing pool for this one then?
A slicing pool then is 1 green, 2 yellow and blue on my side, and 2 purple and 2 black on theirs.
Okay, you have got 4 light side points though if you want to flip one.
I am going to. I'm putting a lot of focus and dedication into this, so I'm going to try and get in and remove us from the system.
Okay.
Which is 1 success and 4 advantage overall.
Yep, that's absolutely fine. You slice into this central database. It's not easy, but you get in there. You, at this stage, have access to the data dump that Steve sends in, but only the data dump that Steve sends in. You've gone in quite a focused link at this moment in time. But you are in there, you can recall that picture. It does appear to have been viewed once, but it has not been copied, it has not been distributed, it has not been downloaded. Someone has looked at that and then done nothing else with it, essentially. There's certainly been no more copies of it made. So when you wipe this, that is gone. You don't need to worry about them having a hard record of you.
All right. Can I spend some of the advantage to leave an access route for us? So it won't be seen, but I've now got a firm way in and this is going to work. A backdoor.
So that you never have to roll to hack this particular server again. Yes, but that's going to be 3 of your advantage because that's quite a big thing.
That's fine. I am happy to do that. That leaves me with 1 left.
How about, unless you've got any other ideas, that 1 can be spent when you next come back or when you next do something in here to bridge from where you are into the main server database itself. For example, the other bit that connects it with the other droids, the bit that the geotagging, all that side of thing. You've got your foot in the door permanently and you're now able to start creeping through the house, to use a slightly unsettling burglary analogy.
I'll take that. You've given me a lot to look at, my beauty. I reckon this will be an enjoyable explorer later in the day. And she is a little bit manic about this. She is, not that any of you can see again because she's doing this in a locked door, but she's having fun. She's very focused on this. So all right, I've got details out. I've got some details about where to go. I'm going to have you. And she shuts it down for the evening.
Okay. And unless anyone else wants to do anything particular over the course of the evening, are you regrouping for a chat or are you staying your kind of small clusters at the moment as night sets in?
I think Jiren's going to talk to everybody, but it's not about anything relevant, so...
Okay. As night sets in, Pyjack's been through the refresher. He comes out for his evening meal. He started playing cards with Tugger as well. He's all right at Sabak. He's not great, but he's not as good as you, and he's certainly not as good as Tugger. But he occasionally has his lucky moments. If you want to indulge in a bit of 3-way Sabak.
Well, it means that Jiren might win some money. So
Everyone would like to watch Heights and Depths with Agatha.
Agatha's fine with that.
Well, here's the thing. Now that you're on a constant HoloNet connection that's not metered like it was on Daxos, it turns out you've missed 5 whole seasons, and I suspect that you download them ready for when you next go into hyperspace.
I've never seen this show before.
In which case you've got like 130 years to catch up on.
Oh my god.
I'm massively confused because, as far as I'm concerned, that's how families work.
Agatha will explain it to you.
But how is this entertainment? I mean, this lady here with the shoulder pads, she reminds me of my sister.
She's been in jail 4 times.
Well, that's unlucky. Oh, that seems normal.
Lass is going to walk past and occasionally comment if people are using data slabs incorrectly or are fake typing and things like that. Little details that get up her nose.
just from behind you on the table, say, you think that is normal?
Well, obviously she wouldn't dispose of the body that way.
No, I mean the fact that her brother is a droid and everyone has amnesia, and that guy who died came back and was his clone, and it is not that I have anything against clones, by the way, but it just seems a bit unlikely.
And has everyone noticed that none of them ever go to the bathroom? None of them.
That was plot point in season 73.
Why would you want them to go? Never mind.
I'm just saying that people on average do go to the bathroom.
But he's a droid. Why would he want to go
Well,
to?
not him.
Why would they show that? I mean, why would they show that on the main show? Surely that would be premium content.
We do not talk about season 26.
We don't talk about season 26?
All right, Agatha, I respect that. We won't talk about season 26. Do you want a cup of tea, my love?
Yes, please.
All right.
Why? That's a terrible disguise. You're just wearing a hat. What's got...
My favorite is when they found out that the baby is not a baby, it's a basilisk wearing a wig.
Basilisks have 4 arms. How does that work? How did they not notice? Did they think it was 2 babies?
I think they thought it was 2 babies. I
Switched at birth.
I must I missed that season finale, what with being beaten in a slave mine. Oh, but now we can download it. Excellent.
Legally, we are going to legally download it.
Oh.
We're on Port Haven. I don't think there's that fine a distinction This is broadcast by the Imperial News Network. It is not illegal to steal from the Empire. I mean, technically it is illegal to steal from the Empire, but...
Lasser, could you do me a favour? He rumbles in his pockets and he pulls out a very illegal data spike. Could you download Heights and Depths onto with that? That'll help.
You really want me to use one of these for that?
Yeah?
There's nothing possibly that could be more vital to us, and we might never be in a pinch where we desperately need...
Well, if you don't want it, he takes it.
I'm not saying I don't want
it. Puts it back in his pocket.
I'm just saying, if you want Heights and Depths, all I've got to do is pull a cable here. She pulls a cable. Push an antenna up here. Enter in the codes from the old prison system where we used to get it fed into the officers' rooms. Of course, none of us mechanics could get in there.
Oh, I know.
And I reckon, can I download it for them?
Yes. Boop, 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 boop.
High definition content.
She bashes it once.
Okay, low definition content.
She bashes it again.
There we go.
There we go. I like to keep everybody happy. We're going to keep this ship a happy, flying ship.
Okay.
Agatha, why don't they have the identical twins played by the same person? One of them's a different species. What's going on here?
There are many competing theories on the HoloNet.
Move up. And we all sit on the sofa.
Oh, so that one's just a human baby they've painted blue.
Yeah, I find that very offensive.
I'm not surprised, especially as it's supposed to be a basilisk.
Okay, stop this episode. Get back to the start. We'll go through it again. I want to understand. And that's what we do for the rest of the night.
2 hours pass, we have found a flip chart
that Agatha remembers from when he was 6.
Lasso's sitting in the corner, twiddling with some random piece of tech, just occasionally looking up and commenting. It actually feels quite nice. Everything seems to be a bit smoother. She's even able to talk with Oberon without being cold, sharp, or nasty.
So the rest of the night passes uneventfully. As we come to the morning, everything's loaded up. The ship is fully refueled. Prinkle's made you all a nice cooked breakfast, which I presume you eat with no major difficulties. Are you ready to leave Port Haven, or are you planning on doing anything else while you're here?
We're all ready to go?
I've got one more thing I need to do. I think I should try and get this worm made before we leave so I can update it just as we break the distance level.
Okay, so that is going to be a computers test.
All right, here we go again.
It is difficulty 3, because it's quite complicated, what you're trying to do with it.
Indeed it is. I'm going to ask Jiren if I can borrow some equipment.
Yeah, what do you want?
Can I borrow your data spike?
I do not have a data spike.
Can I borrow the data spike that you don't have?
There is no data spike. They are very illegal, you know, Lassa.
Jiren, I really need it.
Okay. Do not stir your tea with it. It's expensive.
I won't. And thank you.
I thought you might want it. It's yours, you know. It's a present from me.
Very kind of you. Thank you very much.
I have stuff for the others, but I haven't yet decided when to give it them.
Come with me. Come with me. Shh, come with me.
I feel like I need my own theme tune for this again.
No, right. You know that droid, right? You know that orbital droid?
Steve?
Right, yeah, well, Steve took photos of us, right? And all those photos went out to people, and people could have seen them, and they could have known what we were doing, and they could have seen what we were doing, and what we were talking about, and it was awful.
How did I look? Did I look good?
You look fine. Either way, I've deleted the data off the system, right? But I left myself a way to go back in there. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to criff him up.
Oh, it's so good to see you enjoying
a heist.
Espionage.
No, there's no law right down there. So you got to make the law.
Okay.
I'm going to put him out of business.
What can I do to help?
A, your data spike. And can you...
It's your data spike. You can have it. It's mine.
If you could keep an eye on these levels to see whether I have been noticed breaking into them and uploading this worm.
Okay, I don't know what to do, but I'll stay here and look at this.
If this goes into the red, she points to something on the splicer, that means somebody is picked up on what I'm doing.
Okay.
Tell me if it goes into red, because I'll need to shut it down.
Okay.
Otherwise they can find us.
Righto.
Alright. This can't be uploaded until the second we break atmospheric limit of here, and she points to a distance when they'll be safe to send it, but not too far away for it not to be found.
Is there a button I can press?
You can pull that lever over there and that'll shut the whole system down.
Brilliant.
Alright.
So Jaren's assistants will give you a blue.
No, I won't. I have no computers.
Jaren's encouragement will still give you a blue. I'm feeling generous.
Thank you.
And the data spike will...
It's 2 blues.
It's
So
two
that's
blues
where
for
the
the
blues are coming from
Yeah,
Jaren.
I'll let you have 3 blues.
You are so kind.
this is just to write the program and get it ready to go.
Right.
So there are still 3 light side points if you want to flip and upgrade again.
Yes, I will, because
Okay.
she might not realise how much she's pulling upon her force powers to really focus on this, but she is massively doing it. So this is to write a worm program, which is going to eventually, when it is uploaded into their main system, break down all the droids and bring me all personal data that they can get hold of in their environment. It's going to disable all the droids as well. That could have been a lot worse.
That bodes well.
Altogether, that is 2 successes and 1 advantage.
Okay, so yes, you write this program and you get it ready to go. You have your back door ready.
There you go, look at it. Isn't it beautiful? Look at that. That is going to mess up every single one of those smug self-satisfied droids, and their whole little system is going to come crumbling down, and they're going to tell me exactly who doing it all.
Jiren realizes that you're not talking to him, so he stays quiet.
I'm going to find out all your secrets, and I'm going to get in there, and I'm going to criff you up better than your mother should have done when you were born.
So the last thing you'll need to do is, as you're leaving orbit, is to let that go. And with that advantage you've got there and you won previously, that final slicing test to force it past just Steve's memory banks and into their main server without being detected, you'll have 2 blue to that roll.
And is that another 3 difficulty roll?
It's going to be 2 purple and a red, because I'm flipping a dark side point to upgrade.
Of course you are.
Is the plan for us to be taking up when it's
Indeed it is. If it's alright, I'll
Right.
make the roll now.
Yeah.
And then when you're about to pilot, I will let you know what has happened to it and whether it's affected us.
Okay, you can do the lever. I think it's important that you make it go. I'm going to go and make sure we're ready to get off.
Alright, yeah. Like normal, just let me know the second we're about to leave this area.
10 minutes until takeoff?
Alright, 10 minutes till takeoff. I reckon that'll be... yeah, alright, I got it.
Okay.
You go, off we go.
Jiren walks through the ship, telling you, 10 minutes till takeoff. Everybody get ready. We need to go, I think.
Okay,
You got 10 minutes okay for you?
10 minutes is absolutely fine. I've been prepped for the last day.
Yes, and Tugger has fulfilled his purpose as an astromech droid and has plotted your astrogation course to Lenico 4, so you know where you're going. So we get ready. You start to lift off. You start to break atmosphere.
That's 1 success, but 1 threat.
Okay, well, I'm going to pocket that threat
Of course you are.
because you're about to leave planet. As far as you're aware, you have successfully infiltrated your worm program into the main database of the Orcol Collective.
Got you.
And until you get back, that will continue doing what you've told it to, hiding in the background, collecting information, because you don't want it to shut the droids down until you get back, do you?
Yeah,
You want it
no,
just
no.
kind of lying dormant almost.
I've got to get all the information before they go poof.
So when you get back to Port Haven, you send a further code out through the uplink you've already got, and that's the point that they shut down and the information comes back to you. Is that how you're planning on that
Yes.
working? Okay.
And finally, I'm going to disconnect Steve's head from everything, take all the wires around, anything that's related to him, and stash him somewhere he's not going to be found. This is me running around the ship trying to find somewhere to stash him where no one's going to find him other than me.
You have junk piles in the engineering room because you're an engineer. There are
yeah,
junk
but
piles.
they might look in there for a head. This has got to be something in a wall panel or...
Okay, think about the other people on the ship. Are we going to go rooting through the... We're not going to go in there.
They're too afraid of you. A skullduggery test will be to successfully stash this. Difficulty 2.
Cool, that's 2 successes and 1 advantage.
Yep, you have stashed that somewhere safely away that no one will be stumbling upon it. If they go to find it, they will be actively looking for it and will revisit the roll.
Right. And Larsa comes back to join everybody on the bridge to have a look at where we're going and is generally very happy. She does seem far happier than she's been of late. Tea for everybody. You want tea? Everyone want tea? You want tea, Oberon?
Tea would be great. yes,
Agatha, you
please.
want tea?
Agatha likes tea.
Jiren, you want tea?
I do not wish for tea.
So Oberon looks really relaxed because he's doing something again. And he's also just jabbering away with the droid as the droid's jabbering back. Oh, I see it. Yes, no, good point. Yeah, no, very well made.
You break through the atmosphere of Port Haven. You make your way to a safe point, and we leave our heroes as they enter hyperspace. And before we leave for good, this episode's patron is Mark and the Coruscant Nights podcast.
Hi, Mark. Hi, Coruscant Nights.
Coruscant Nights is, you'll be doubtless surprised to hear, one of our favourite shows, and I know we say that a lot. We have a lot of favourites. Our hearts are full with love for many other Star Wars podcasters out there, so don't stop judging us and listen to Coruscant Nights. It is Star Wars noir. It's an excellent show. Lots of short episodes, weaving threads, secretive threads that all kind of pull together and show a glimpse of some great interconnected thing that's going on behind the scenes. It is gripping. It's very, very enjoyable. And we are honoured to have you as one of our patrons. Thank you very much for your support, Mark. And if you're not listening to Coruscant Nights, it's a fairly new show. Though they release weekly, so they're doing better than us on that side of things, there's not a massive back catalogue to get through if you jump on them now, and it will be one of the best decisions you've ever made. So thank you very, very much, Mark and Coruscant Nights, and thank you everybody for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
We will see you next time. Force Majeure is played using the Star Wars Force and Destiny game system by Fantasy Flight Games and Lucas Books. Our intro music for this season is Unholy Night by Kevin MacLeod, and our outro music remains Suburban Outlaw by Forget the Whale, both used with gratitude under the Creative Commons license. If you like the show and want to interact with us, we are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, all of which are at Force Majeure Pod, though Twitter is probably where you're going to find us more regularly. If you enjoy what we do and want to support the show, there's 3 ways you can do that. The first is via our Patreon at patreon.com/forcemajeurepod. The second is by buying us a coffee at ko-fi.com/forcemajeurepod. And the third way is by rating and reviewing us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, anywhere where you can find us. We really like reviews. It tells us that we're telling the stories that you want to hear and helps other people find us. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next time.